Hey everyone, it's me Joji, and we're going to be trying something new today. Now, I'm sure a few of you are familiar with what a booster box game is. It has been pretty popular on some channels that I've seen before, especially in a different type of TCG, but I wanted to try it out for myself. But of course, with Pokemon, with the new Stellar Crown booster box here. So this cost me, I believe, $105, but I know it does retail at the Pokemon Center for $162, which is kind of ridiculous. They're essentially charging you for each one of the packs inside. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a middle ground. I believe at the highest point you can probably find it at an average of maybe $120 for most booster boxes. So what we're going to be trying to do for this booster box game is try and get $120 worth of cards. Now I am opening this up on September 9th, so it is a little early, which means that the card values are actually higher, which is actually going to be beneficial for us if we want to trade in some of this stuff to get some other cards we may need. But of course, there are going to be some cards that we want to get from here. I'm going to put them up on the screen. Those are the cards we're going to be looking for specifically for myself. Now there are obviously other chase cards. You can maybe want some of the illustration rares and things like that, but I'm also looking for some really playable cards like those Noctowls that were on that list there. So let's see what we can get in this booster box today, and if we can hit that $120 value in a single one of these booster boxes. So let's go ahead and get right to it. I will be honest, I haven't opened up a booster box since, I want to say, maybe Paradox Rift. It has definitely been a while since I've opened up a booster box, and I will have to go back and get those booster boxes. I do collect the displays. You can kind of see them in the corner there on the right side of the screen of the webcam. I do have a bunch of them just sitting there. I am missing, of course, like I said, I think Temporal Forces, Twilight Masquerade. I think I have the Paradox Rift one, but all right, we have the booster box open. We're going to open up a single pack at a time. No real order to opening these, but again, we are trying to get that $120 value from this single booster box. All right, so first pack, and I will only be counting the value of cards that are worth over $1. Of course, you can, count each single one as a, this would cost maybe like 5 cents or something, a cent. And that's great and all, but obviously a store will not take this clink in as trade value. They are looking for mostly cards that cost over $1 or more when they're trying to get something in there. So we're starting off with a Hoot Hoot, which is good. That's one of the cards we're looking for our buy list. Lacey, yes. Celebi, Electivire, a Toedscool reverse, a Morgrem reverse, and a Melmetal. I will be putting up the values anytime there is something over $1. So I'm assuming this Melmetal is probably not worth that much. So I'm guessing it may be like, 20 cents, maybe. Throw up how much it actually costs on there. But yeah, I don't think we get any of the new hollow energies like we did in Shrouded Fables. We did get some hollows in that one, but going forward, we're probably not going to get any until maybe the next special set. And I am setting aside the code cards. We will be giving away those code cards over on twitter.com. I will not call it X. But I am going to be doing a giveaway to give away all these code cards to, I think there's 36, so I'll probably be giving like 30 of them. I'll keep 6. I think that's fair. I'll be giving 30 away. So 3 winners will each get 10. We got a Scorbunny, Ladybug, nice, Minfu, Salazzle, a Driftblim, which actually probably want to put this on my buy list. I don't know if I've actually put the full buy list on there yet. Or, I mean, I did actually. I said I would. But I don't know if this was on the buy list. I will have to double check because I kind of want to run this Explode or Everyone Explode Now attack as a deck list idea. It seems like a fun one to try out. A Payapa Berry, a Meditite Reverse, a Joltik reverse. Actually, I think there is an illustration where we want to look for this guy. Ooh, a Lapras EX. Not bad to start. That is a really good EX. It is also the Stellar Terra type, the new Terra type in this set. Although it doesn't have a difference in the actual effect of Terra, it is now still a water type instead of switching like most of the other Terra type Pokemon did. So its Power Splash attack does 40 damage for each energy attached to it, and its Larimar Rain, you look at the top 20 cards of your deck and attach any number of energies you find there to this Pokemon. To your Pokemon. My mistake, I should read the card that explains the card. But that is a lot of energy. Although, keep in mind, stellar Pokemon use different types, almost similar to amazing rare Pokemon. So this one uses a water, a psychic, and a metal. So I'm thinking they're going the same route as those amazing rares. And I'm trying to think dragon type Pokemon. So it's using almost like the color scheme of the Pokemon itself. So I think it's going for the blue, purple, and the gray on this Lapras. So not bad of a card. Of course, we do have a water energy at the end, but at least we're getting our monies back somehow now. Okay, moving on to another pack. I'm guessing, because again, I haven't looked these up and I will only know the values when I start editing the video, that is probably about maybe $1 or $2. So it's not really close to that 120 we're looking for yet. But I believe that some of these special illustration rares are going to be really, really valuable. And I'm not too sure how valuable some of these trainer cards are going to be, but they might be super expensive as well. Ooh, a Melmetal EX. I'm tempted to say this is actually under $1. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it says that it's actually higher on the footage after when I'm editing it. But it's all right. This is kind of a lackluster card, Melmetal EX. Flip 2 coins. The attack does 100 damage for each head, so only does up to 200 damage for 4 energy. That's not that great, especially since you're like relying on the coin flip. But it is going onto the side here to add some value to our pot. But moving on, hopefully we can get some more valuable cards. I'm guessing we're probably about like at $3 out of the whole box. And this is a bit of an experimental video I'm trying to do here. Fan modem. That is actually something on our buy list. I'm just going to set it in the pile, probably separate it later. But, Gravity Gemstone also. This is similar to the Float Stone, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is experimental. I do want to do these for the following sets, like, Surging Sparks, and whatever comes after that. I believe it would actually be... would it be the Trainer's Pokemon set coming out next year? It might be. Ooh. But I do want to do the like booster box game kind of video. I do like that idea so much. Trying to get your value off of your booster box. Although I will note that early on, it is actually easier to get the value back from a booster box than later after the run time of a set. And what I mean by that is if you buy this set, let's say maybe a month or 2 later, maybe you're buying the booster box of it, it's probably not going to give you the value that you expected. It's actually going to be detrimental, or not detrimental, but less cost effective than if you had just bought the single cards instead. So right now, when it's early, it's better to buy the product, in my opinion, and then later on when it's cheaper to buy singles, it's better to do that instead of getting the product itself. Ooh, there's a new Jirachi card. Nice. And that is a new Pokemon card there. For a new Pokemon, Terapagos EX, the new Pokemon in the... I'm blanking on the name of it. It is the Area Zero DLC where you get to go to the Blueberry Academy, but you actually go back into the under depths of the Area Zero to find this guy, who is essentially the original Terra Pokemon. So Terapagos right there. This guy is actually so overpowered, they had to nerf its first attack. So if you go second, you can't use this attack, Unified Beatdown, which does 30 times for each bench Pokemon of your Pokemon. So it is a very strong attack for 2 colorless, which essentially you can set up, I think, with a card called Glass Trumpet in this set, or something like a double turbo energy. It is pretty strong of a card, even though it's only at 230 HP. This is going to be a really important card for a lot of upcoming decks, I'll be honest. So I'll set that aside. I would have to guess, even though it's a regular EX version, this is probably right now about $5. We'll see if its value holds up after. I don't think Baltimore actually runs Stellar Crown. I could be wrong. I think it's right as it's becoming legal. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's after. But anyways, actually no. I think Baltimore happens before. So I think the next regional afterwards is when Stellar Crown is going to be legal. And that's when we're going to see a bit of a shakeup in the meta to see what comes out on top. Rhydon, Tortuga, and a Carracosta right after. Which also, I forget if this guy's actually pretty good. Primal Knowledge. Attacks used by your Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active evolution Pokemon. Okay, so there might be something going around with the fossil Pokemon you might want to try out. We'll see. I don't think this guy's expensive though. He's probably only like 30 cents. So I think, I mean, we're only... what I think it's been like 4 or 5 packs. I've lost count since we started. So I think we're doing pretty poorly if we're trying to hit that $120. Veluza, actually, this guy carried me in some of the games during the pre-release. The Veluza, Kofu, and then the Crabominable were really good as a deck. Double Tornadus there, okay. Zeraora. And an Archaladon. Okay, so this guy actually gets an EX in the next set. Unfortunately, not in this set. But Metal Bridge, all your Pokemon that have Metal Energy attached have no retreat cost. Ooh, that's interesting. Because I believe some of the Metal Pokemon have like a 4 retreat, sometimes even a 3 retreat. A pretty high retreat cost for most of them. So that actually might not be a bad thing to have, you know? Being able to retreat pretty easily that way. Interesting, okay. Maybe I'll have to revisit the Melmetal deck. We'll see. Maybe they'll reprint. I think it's I forget what it was called. There was a card that would attach metal type energies to your Pokemon. I think if they were in the discard pile, similar to Dark Patch. I don't think it was Metal Patch. It was something else. But it was used a lot in the Zacian V decks. And essentially, Arceus Dialga-Palkia. When that was overpowered, if you guys remember that. So we got Slowpoke, Frogadier, ooh, and Raging Bolt. Okay, so it is not the EX one. I actually wonder if this is worth using in the current Raging Bolt as an attacker. It is a Dragon type. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to this Pokemon. That's 60 damage. I don't think it's worth it. I'll be honest. And it's probably not worth a lot either. If it had said maybe like 60, maybe it might be a bit more viable. But 30 for each one, and it starts working off of 2. You're only going to have 2 attached to it. That's I guess if you wanted to poke the bench, maybe that's an option. But there's a lot of times where, I mean, Manaphy gets there and blocks that. So maybe it's not worth it. All right, we got Swalot, which is a dark type this time. That's probably because it's poison. Crabballer. Okay, that might just put me to about maybe more than half the value of the box already. That is the illustration rare version of Terapagos EX. Look at that beauty right there. So people were assuming that this was going to go into the premium collection box coming out later on this year for Terapagos EX, but it was put into this set instead. Also, this gives you a better look. Also, let's take a look. It's Caracosta. We don't care as much about that. You can kind of see the bordering here. On all these stellar Pokemon, they have a border like this, but it's a lot more visible on this Terapagos right here. You can kind of see the full color spectrum going all the way around the board. That is an awesome border in my opinion. Wow. Yeah, I would say, again, I don't know the price of these. I haven't looked them up. I would say we're probably past the value of half the box with just this card alone. That is awesome. Getting that so early on too. I hope we get more cards like that soon. That will put us over the value of this box. That would make it completely worth it. Maybe some full art trainers would be wonderful too. I do know Briar's pretty good. Again, Lacey is one of those cards that is a chase card. There's another Rotom. There is a cover fossil, which you need for Tortuga. Although these do actually have abilities now. So prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Okay, effects of attacks. You can sort of make this immune with, I think it's like Negative Zone. I forget what it's called. That came out in Shrouded Fables. Because it can't get, then it would be able to get hit by EX and B Pokemon. Or I think it's Pokemon rule boxes. One of the two. Crispin. Another Drifblim. You know, I actually haven't seen any Noctowl. That is curious. Okay, I'm hoping we get some Noctowls for our buy list. There is a Greninja EX there. I actually forgot this guy was getting a new print in here. But I'm looking at it, and Shifting Shuriken's 100 plus, flip a coin, and it does 200 more if it's heads. This almost seems like one of the promo cards that came in one of the EX battle decks. I don't recall if it is that. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, it's on the screen if I'm right or wrong. But not bad. I would guess this guy's probably only about like $1 right now, maybe even less, because he's not that popular. It's not that he's not popular. It is Greninja. Greninja is very popular. It's one of those popular Pokemon, but as a card, it's not really popular. I would guess this one. It's nothing special. It's not like the Terra fighting one that we got in the previous set. Another Crispin, double Eldegoss. A second Eldegoss, Turtonator, and a Bufalon. This guy actually did pretty well in the pre-releases as well with its Curly Wall ability. This actually might be helpful if you're running the Terapagos, because then your Terapagos takes 60 less, making it essentially, I believe, yeah, 290 HP, which is not bad. Unless it's getting hit by like a fighting Pokemon. I believe it's weak 2. So that's actually probably on my buy list. I need to double check. I probably made the buy list afterwards, not right now. So we'll see what cards I wanted to get afterwards. Okay, another card pack. I almost said card. I think I actually did say the whole word. Anyways, ooh, I didn't see anything there. Gossifleur, Electabuzz, Comfey, Togedemaru, Jirachi. Ooh, Glass Trumpet. This guy is probably worth at least 50 cents, maybe more. We didn't see anything down there. We did not see anything down there. We did see a Deluxe Bomb. I actually got this guy from the pre-release already. If I had to guess, maybe this guy's $2. It's one of the more lackluster A-specs in the A-spec verse. There are a lot better ones. You probably won't be seeing too many decks running the Deluxe Bomb, I'll be honest. It is a illustration Meditite. I didn't know what was going to have the jungle in the background, but it is a Meditite looking very angry or eager, I don't know, angry, annoyed at that Chatot. You know, it's probably annoyed because Meditite is trying to meditate here, and that Chatot is probably just chatting away, being a nuisance, you know? Chatot, what are you saying? Subscribe. Okay. Anyways, Meditite special illustration rare. I would guess maybe $2, possibly. Ladian. This guy had a pre-release promo. probably not the favorite for anyone. It doesn't have a good ability. Just like Lydian in the game, it is pretty bad of a card. Swift does 70 damage, which is okay. It doesn't get affected by weakness, but a lot of Pokemon aren't. Well, actually, that's actually worse because you can maybe have used this against Charizard, but that's 70 HP. A 70 damage isn't going to turn into 140 because of its effect on the attack. Although this does let you switch Pokemon into the active spot for your opponent, you could get a basic Pokemon that would have evolved that way. But I would have to guess this guy probably only costs like 20 cents. Oh, Deluxe Bomb, yes, it's like $1 or $2. But we'll set that aside and move on to another pack. All right. Can we get some maybe more illustration rares? That guy's an illustration rare, technically. That one's also an illustration rare. That is a Cyclozar. That is a nice looking Gulpin card right there. Very cute. Lantern. Briar. Okay, I would have to guess this card probably goes for actually less than $1 right now. I feel like a lot of the trainers are going to be going for less than $1 unless they're hard to get. We got another Hoo-Hoo finally. And a Kling Clang reverse. And there we go. We got a Noctowl. The reason I wanted this guy is Jewel Seeker. It works pretty much like the Inteleon with shady dealings on it. So when you evolve this your Hoot-Hoot into a Noctowl, you may search your deck. Oh, sorry. As long as you have a Terra Pokemon as well on the field, you may search your deck for 2 trainer cards. So there is a stipulation now where you have to have a Terra Pokemon. But, I mean, there's going to be a lot of Terra Pokemon in most decks anyways. You're going to be running Terapagos, maybe one of the Ogre Pawns. Charizard technically is already a Terra Pokemon. So it's not going to be too difficult to maybe like put in maybe like a 1 or 2 line of Knockdown into some decks that wouldn't have had it before. But I do see this in a place for Palkia V-Star with its Terra Pokemon either being Terapagos or the Wellspring Ogerpon EX, one of those two. I would have to guess this thing is maybe going for like $2 because of how difficult it was to get it. It might be going for $2, maybe even more. I'm not even sure. I do want to set this guy aside, but I do know that I only have 1 Knockdown right now. We need to get 3 more. I know that is exactly in my buy list for sure. Because I've only pulled... Actually, my buy list is 4. You should want to have 4 on your buy list for Noctowl and Hoot-Hoot. But I think I've only pulled this one and one in the pre-releases. Yeah. Lacey, nice. Rapidash, Slowking reverse, a Rapidash reverse, and a Medicham EX. Ooh, this makes me miss the Medicham Vs. I did love Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX decks. This is close to it. Chiatsu. Put damage counters onto your opponent's active Pokemon until their remaining HP is 50. Ooh. I might have some fun with that, actually. You can points in a Pokemon. Maybe have a Hisuian Sneasler. That's 40, or is it turn it to 30? One of the two. But this is actually pretty interesting. I might have to look into the Medicham EX. If I had to guess, this guy is also probably worth only $1 though. It is the sad reality of a lot of these just regular ultra rare EX Pokemon that they're going to be $1. Even on release day, they're not going to be that expensive. And I will admit right now that I'm going to probably have trouble finding like accurate pricing because it's so early. Some of these cards might be going for like very exorbitant prices. So I'm hoping that my prices are at least a bit more reasonable. Kling Clang. Oh, I didn't realize this guy had... No, I'm going to say it's probably like only worth like 10 cents. I read that really quickly and it didn't seem interesting. I read the card and I was not impressed. So far, I would have to guess, yeah, we're probably close. No, we're definitely past $60 just because of that Terapagos EX illustration rare. Ooh, there's the root fossil for Lileep. Okay, what's this one? This one's Primal Root. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's basic Pokemon's attacks cost more. Ooh. Okay, that's actually not that bad. You can have a lot of disruption with these fossils, it seems like. You wouldn't even need the actual, like, to evolve them. You probably do some, like, yeah, disruption or something like that. A control deck, almost. Briar. Baridon. Ooh, wait, hold on. Resolute Roar. Oh, Fang. Oh, if this was a ancient Pokemon, this would have been a really good card to add maybe to some decks, because if your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, this is 70 more. That's not bad. Especially if you need to hit that fighting weakness. I don't know why I did that. Orthworm EX. Pummeling Payback. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon is knocked out, put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. Ah, okay. When are we gonna get that metal patch? This seems like a lot of fun with something like that. I guess you could technically run this maybe with like the Matang that attaches from the top 4 that you look at. This might not be a bad card to try out that way. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. For 4 energy, it's not bad. This seems like a pretty fun card. Also, the hollow on it is actually kind of cool. I'll be honest. If I had to guess, this guy's probably only worth like $4 though. That's a silly looking Pokemon, Orthworm. I don't know why they made him into a Pokemon, but I appreciate how silly he looks. And then it doesn't even show it there, but like he does have like little like blue hands. Those are what are coming out of his metal body part right there. All right, let's see what we get here. We got a Ladybug, Fan Rotom again, finally. That makes 2, I think, actually. We might want to have 4 of those, though. Maybe 3. And a Dreadnought, okay. Impervious Shell, hold on. Prevent all damage to this Pokemon from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon if that damage would be 200 or more. Ooh. That's actually not bad. That's gonna force your opponent to, like, worry about, like, how much damage they're doing each turn. If they have only a single attack that does more damage every single time, that's going to be tough. It is at 140 HP. You could increase that with something like a Hero's Cape. Maybe a 240. And then even if they do hit them with like something that does like at most like 190, it's still surviving. That's actually not bad. Lamiao, Pancham, Charjabug, Salandit, Crabominable. There's the other Kofu card. I hope they print some more. Maybe an EX one for Kofu. Reboot. And there it is. Look at this guy just like flailing around with his little hands there. There's the Orthworm EX. Probably only worth $1 though. He's a cute little guy though. Little worm. All right. New pack. New possibilities. For some pulls and getting to that $120 value. Maybe we've already passed it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that Terapagos is like $90. And then all the other stuff is more than enough to hit 120. I could be wrong though. Double, Pangoro, Marowak, Grimmsnarl, and a Melmetal. Unfortunately, no hits there. Or nothing over $1, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we did see something. Maybe I actually don't think we really had any good trainers on that one. So probably not. We will be getting a few dud packs, I bet, that don't even get close to the dollar value of a single pack, which I believe go for, about $5 now, $4.99. It's kind of pricey, especially for some of these packs that just don't get you anything good. Again, I think this whole pack right here probably less than $5 alone. There was some like playable trainer cards, but it kind of reinforces my point where even like later on, you're not going to be getting the value back of a pack, a single pack. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you pull something super expensive, but that luck is like luck. So it's better to just, you know, buy singles at that point. Wow, we have gone this whole video so far without having pulled Area Zero Underpaths, which is the new stadium we need for these Terra Pokemon. So when you play this and then you have a Terra Pokemon, you can put up to 8 Pokemon onto your bench. And of course, if there's no longer a Terra Pokemon, you have to discard Pokemon until you have 5 on the bench. So it is really important, especially for Terapagos. And it'll be very important for decks like Palkia V-Star. But that, of course, was on my buy list. I'm glad I got it, because I'm pretty sure it's probably at least worth $1 or $2. If I had to guess, maybe like $1, because of how hard it was to pull. Especially, we got 1 in this whole booster box so far. I'm hoping we at least pull 2. So I don't think I've pulled 1 in the pre-release. I'm hoping we don't have to buy more product. I do have I think 1 single ETB coming in from the Pokemon Center, but I'm not holding my breath that I'll pull the cards I need from that. I'm mostly getting it to have the ETB. All right. I think we are done with a single side of it. We did pull a few from the other side, so it's not evenly split. I believe we're already past the halfway point. Handshake. I feel like we've seen this starting point already. Marowak, Frogadier. Ooh, pulling cards a little bit too early. Ooh, Iron Boulder, new future Pokemon. Adjusted Horns, 170 damage. If you don't have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, this attack does nothing. Okay, not playable. That requires a lot of things, like something like Copycat or something, to really be viable. And I don't think that's gonna be easy to do in this format. All right, let's get this other pack open here. Let's see if we can get some more hits. What was the last hit we got? I think the Orthworm. Let's see if we can get some more illustrations. We have not seen a full art trainer. Maybe we'll get one. Ooh, another Glass Trumpet. Diancie. A-Spec. Sparkling Crystal. This one actually I think is probably worth a bit of money. Sparkling Crystal, when this is attached to a Terra Pokemon, and it can use its attack for 1 energy less. It doesn't specify, so it can be of any type. So if it's colorless, fire, dark, grass, whatever it may be, it does it for 1 less. This is a really good, I think the better of all the A-Specs that came out in this set. Sparkling Crystal. I think it's being used in Dragapult. Is Dragapult? Yeah. I believe Dragapult is a Terra Pokemon. Yeah. It's a Terra Dragon. Which is funny because it is already a dragon type. It just teared it into its own type. But yeah, it's using that one a bit. I've seen some lists use it as a way to just attack with a single psychic energy or a single fire energy. Whatever you may need for the moment. Oh, pulling off the energy. Oh, you know what? Let's see it. Fire energy. Hopefully that means... Is there actually any Fire EX Pokemon in this set? I guess Cinderace, but it turns into a normal type, I believe. If I remember correctly, yeah, I think it turns into a normal type. And we haven't seen it, though. I did pull one at the pre-release. And then ended up not being able to use it. Well, I did put it in the list for my pre-release deck, but I wasn't able to really use it because I had a 1/1/1 line of it. So almost impossible. Even for its attack, it's super difficult to set up. Tauros. Ooh, this is actually really cool artwork. Almost reminiscent of the old like artwork you would see in like Fire Red, Blue, and Yellow, or even some of the old mangas. That's actually really cool. Who did this? Uninori. I'm gonna have to look at their artwork later. Oh, we got another Area Zero Under Depths. Nice. Jirachi. Reshiram. Mewtwo. Ooh, that is a nice artwork. Oh, if there was a If there was an illustration rare of Mewtwo, it would be so expensive in this set, I bet. And a Ladian, probably not that expensive. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm very wrong. And Ladian is like $1. Maybe it's less. I don't think it's on too many people's buy list, honestly. All right. Another pack starting off with the Fan Rotom. Wonderful. Leap. Bombardier. Lectabuzz. Oh, pulled off too many cards. There's a Revroom. A Briar. A Zoomaril. A Cyclizar. Another Bombardier. Followed by a Noctowl. Wonderful. Okay. So we have, I think now, 2 Noctowl from this booster box. I will take that. We just need 2 more. Let's see if we get it. We do have probably less than 10 packs left. So it may not look too good for us, but that's all right. Hopefully they're not too expensive. Oh, actually, no. Hopefully they are very expensive right now. But when I need to buy it as a single, it's not too expensive. Lacey, Marowak, Raging Bolt Reverse, Crispin as a reverse, although I will say Crispin is actually really good for things like Terapagos. Search your deck for 2 basic energies of different types. So for a lot of these stellar Pokemon, it's going to be a really good card to use for setting up your Pokemon that way. And a Dashbun Full Heart. Okay, I will take this. Time to chow down. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may heal all damage for each of your evolution Pokemon. If you healed any damage this way, discard all energies. Oh, so it works kind of like Cheryl as a Pokemon evolution. Why is it called Time to Chow Down? I hope your Pokemon aren't taking bites out of this Dashbun EX to heal itself. That's kind of odd of a choice of ability, but I am not going to knock it because this actually helps us with our total. I would have to guess maybe that's about $3 to $4 though. It is a Dashbun, not that popular of a Pokemon. Honestly, I did forget it existed until I ran into a few of them in Scarlet and Violet while hunting a outbreak nearby some spawns for it. Hoothoot, Greavard, Joltik. Would love to see the Joltik illustration rare come out of one of these packs. Handseer and a Dreadnought again. Moving on to the next pack. Maybe some better luck. All right. Set that over there. Put this over here. Show off a Lechonk. And a Reboot. A Rotom. An Eevee. Another Arizero Underpaths. Wonderful. That is our 3rd one. Rapidash. Toad's Cool. Clang, and an Alcremie. Nice. Not that great, but I think still the Underpath is kind of worth it in this set still. I think it's probably still valued at least at $1, hopefully. Diplin. Is Hydrapple in this one? I believe so. Hydrapple EX is what I'm referring to. I would love to get that one in this set. But we are getting a Ladian illustration rare. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this Ladian. It is an illustration rare, but I would have to guess this guy is no more than $2 right now. Again, these illustration rares are wonderful, but some of them have just no value to them, which is a good thing for me because I do collect the illustration rares for most sets. But in this case, again, we are going for value of the booster box, so at least that puts us up a bit more. Okay, how many packs do we have left? We have a total of 5 packs left. I'm hoping we've already surpassed the value of this booster box. Just alone with that Terapagos EX. I probably will double check before closing off this video what the value is, and before editing what the value is of just that Terapagos EX, because I do believe that thing is probably very expensive right now. Driftblim, Duraludon, and the Dash Bun EX as a regular ultra rare. Okay, wonderful. Another like $1 added to the pile. I do like that, regardless if it is only $1. Anything that inches us closer to 120s or surpasses it is fine by me. Alright. Turtonator, Impidimp, Drifloon. Okay, wait, hold on. Is this our first Drifloon in the whole video? I want to say yes. I don't think I've seen too many. That is concerning. The lack of balloons in this booster box. And also the lack of value there. We got 3 packs left. I do hope we've hit the value. It's always, I think, a concern for people that try and do these booster box ones, not knowing the values going into it. Like if you do it maybe like a few days or a week after it's come out and things have started to settle, you'll know most of the values. Trumpet. But for me, I'm going into this completely blind, so I'm not sure of the values on any of these cards. But again, I am hoping we hit that $120 value that I've set here. Again, I did get mine for 105, so maybe we'll win on a stipulation for myself. But again, I do think that most places will average about $120 per box. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe every local card shop has decided that $105 is the correct price to price these at. But you could always have some other card shops that price it at a little bit higher. So you never know. This is our last pack. Let's see. We didn't get any single like full art trainers. I'm hoping we at least get one here. If not, something just as good. We got Varoom, Drifloon. There we go. We got a second Drifloon. Talonflame, a Kofu, a Mewtwo, a Bouffalant, an Azumarill, and a Rhyperior. Unfortunately, I don't think this last pack is going to put us up any value there. But we did get quite a bit of cards here. I'm going to take a quick peek and see how much these are all worth and see if we've at least hit that $120 value. Okay, so I organized them by what their value is. Again, as of September 9th on TCGPlayer for their market price. Keep in mind, they are, I would say, overvalued at the moment. So I don't know why some of these cards are so expensive at the moment, and you'll see what I mean. Some of them make sense, some of them don't. Again, you'll see what I mean. So first of all, this Melmetal we pulled is actually worth about, I think, a market value of 30 cents, maybe a little bit higher than that. People are listing this guy at 32 cents, market value of 86 as of recording. I don't know what it's dropped to by the time I have this out or edited, but that is lower than things like a Bouffalant. The Bouffalant is actually going for more than it. Even the Area Zero Underpaths are going for more than this Melmetal EX. That is kind of insane. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Again, as I mentioned earlier, 100 times and flipping 2 coins for potentially 200 damage is not great. You could essentially flip and do no damage. So it's not even a good card for playability, so its value doesn't go up any higher than it already is. So then next we have Medicham EX, which is barely getting into the value point for this video because it's sitting at a 133 market value, but they're going as low as 80 cents for Medicham. So I'll allow it for now unless it goes down even further by the time I'm editing this. So we'll see by then if Medicham is going to count at all, which I can say the same thing for Noctowl. Now, I thought I had pulled 3. Maybe I was thinking about the one that I pulled from the pre-release, but we did get 2 of these Noctowls. Each of them go for about 139 market price, and they're selling for about 133. So they could keep that value, maybe drop down under $1, but they will keep value as of right now because they are holo rares and you can only get a single one in a pack, so you're not as likely to get them from the uncommon or common spots. So a little bit harder to pull, and I think these will stay about around $1 by the time I'm done editing. This one, kind of an enigma. Again, I think this guy's gonna go down in value to under $1. Right now he's sitting at $1.48, more than the Noctowl, which I don't see a reason. Maybe it's because people are thinking maybe he has some playability because of his ability. But overall, I think this guy could definitely go down in price if you're looking to try and get this guy. Orthworm, I think, goes for $148 right now. Dashbun EX, the ultra rare one, goes for $199. Again, I think this is speculation on its playability at the moment. I don't expect this to stay at that price. Again, I think this is going to dip under $1. Now, Orthworm EX is funny because its market price is around $227, selling for $190 at the lowest point right now. Again, I feel like this one's a playability thing. I could see this dropping to maybe like $150 or $1, and then hovering around their $1 to $2 part. Greninja EX surprisingly is actually more expensive than it. They are selling for lower, but its market price is $270. It is a bit like 50 cents more, but than the Orthworm full arts. But again, I think it's just because it's a Greninja. It's not a good playable card. This could probably drop further as well. Now we have Deluxe Bomb right after it in the pricing points at $279 by 9 cents. This Deluxe Bomb, and I think it's just because in an A spec that it's at this price point. I definitely see this going down to about $1 or so. Then we have Dashbun EX, which is a little bit more valuable. It is at $323 for market price, selling at about $230. I feel like this guy will hover around the $2 mark at some point, but that's all right. I think this is definitely worth about $2 for this one. Then we jump up to Lapras EX, and I gotta switch this up here because I think I messed this up. Nope, he's right here on the same list. He's at $556 for market price, selling at $380. So I think that selling price is actually a bit more viable for this Lapras. I don't think it's gonna get a lot of play, but it is a new stellar Pokemon card, so I can see why it's going for such a higher market price than its actual selling point. So I can see this hovering around the $3 and $4 mark. Sparkling Crystal, I think right now it's actually undervalued. We might see this a bit more valuable later on once we get the final sets of Terra Pokemon. But this guy goes for, I think, $8. Where is it on the list? $808 market price, selling for $779. I think that's about right. I think this is going to hover around $7 to $8. And if it places well, like in Dex for the next few regionals, I think this might even go up to $10. So keep an eye for this. If you don't have it yet, I would suggest maybe getting it at this price point. Maybe it might even drop down to $5, depending on how much it's really used. Then we're moving on to the illustration rares. So you can kind of already see that there's a few EX Pokemon that we pulled that haven't been shown, and that's for good reason. But let's talk about this Ladian right now. This one's going for $890 market value, selling at $570. Again, a lot of these illustration rares and some of these EX Pokemon are overpriced just because they haven't officially dropped. So this Ladian goes for $570 at the lowest point right now. We have it followed by the Metatite, which goes for $991, which I think it's maybe because it's a Metatite, or it's maybe also featuring another Pokemon in there. I'm not sure why it's more expensive than the Ladian, even though Ladian could be technically more playable than it, but it's selling as low as $650. So, I mean, it depends, I think, on the sellers or also collectors. Then we have, hey, there we go. There's the other EX Pokemon we pulled, Terapagos EX. This one is selling right now for $1520 at the lowest, at a market price of $1963. That is a lot of value, and you're probably already thinking to yourself, okay, hold on, that doesn't add up to 120. Yeah, I know, but that's okay, because followed up is the other Terapagos EX card, and this guy, to my surprise, when I sorted by price highest to lowest, was at the top, selling at $143.79 at the lowest price for a market value of $151.05. Now, I had thought that I had pulled a card that was at least the value of the booster box. Or sorry, half the booster box. I said in the recording. I was not expecting it to completely surpass the $120 value just from one single card. That is ridiculous to me. I mean, I do understand it is a special illustration of essentially what is the mascot for this set. It is the Stellar Crown Pokemon. It is a stellar Pokemon, the original Terra Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as an illustration rare. I mean, why shouldn't it be so expensive? And I'm glad we pulled this, because almost everything else in there, we could have pulled a few other like higher priced ones, but none of them compare to this $150 price point, except for Lacey full art, which goes for about $111 market price. But this guy alone, $151. I expect it to drop to maybe like $120, maybe if it doesn't do well. But wow, this is, I would say, a successful booster box game that we did today. We definitely surpassed the value of the box that we set at $120. It definitely surpassed the $105 I paid for, and it just got there to the price for what it sells at for the Pokemon Center. Again, the Pokemon Center sells it for, I believe, $162, which is essentially charging you the same price of buying every single pack on its own. I don't like that pricing. I would prefer it to have been the lower pricing that we get at local card shops, but I guess for whatever reason they're selling it at $161 on the official Pokemon website. But wow, I am looking forward to some of these next videos coming up for the Stellar Crown cards. I'm definitely going to be playing Terapagos EX. I do want to try the Metacham EX. Where are you? You are at the end here. I do want to try the Chiatsu, maybe with some poisoning Pokemon, to see if we can get knockouts that way. Of course, Noctowl is going to go into a Terapagos EX and maybe a Palkia V-Star deck. I don't know yet if I'm going to try Earthworm. Greninja, this one's not worth adding to any other current Greninja EX deck. I've tried Deluxe Bomb, it's not worth using. Dash Bun seems a bit too gimmicky and doesn't really have a place. So does Lapras, but we'll have to try it out at least just to see if we can hit that top 20 and see how many energies we hit. Sparkling Crystal, again, I think this is going to do well in decks like Dragapult EX or even some of these stellar Pokemon. I think, yeah, you could essentially just avoid having like a specific energy as long as you have the Sparkling Crystal in there. But other than that, I wish we had gotten more Noctowl. I do think we need one more for our buy list. I don't remember how many Hoots we pulled. Let's see here. We pulled, so I set these aside. We pulled 3 Hoots. So if we did get 3 Noctowls, that's fine. We pulled 3 Fan Rotoms, which are needed for getting some of your what are they called? Colorless Pokemon. We got 2 Bouffalons. And then we got a 3-2 of the Drifblim Drifloons. I think I already have some Drifblims from the pre-release, so I think that'll be fine. And as for the supporters, I will say there is a bit of a lack of supporters that we pulled from this set. Don't get me wrong, there are some really good ones in here. Like, we got most of the Area Zero underpaths we wanted. I think we did pull one from the pre-release, so we have 4. I think we did pull a Glass Trumpet as well, and I'm pretty sure we have more than enough Lacey, Kofu, and Crispin and Briar than we would really reasonably need unless we wanted to have like more than just 4 of the card. So I think overall we pulled really good cards or even playing. So is it worth getting this booster box early on? Yes. Will it be worth it getting later on, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after the set has officially released? I would say no. I would avoid getting those. I would suggest getting singles as always, because they're a lot cheaper after a few weeks of waiting into a release. But early on, of course, it's always better to try your luck out and pull some of these awesome cards from a booster box, an ETB, a build and battle box, and I forget what the 6, I think it's called a booster bundle as well. Those are always good options early on into a release of a set. But again, if you really want to later on, once the meta has been established, and build some of these decks out, it is better to just buy singles. But for now, I will call this a successful booster box game video. We have surpassed the $120 price point we set for ourselves today. So let me know what you think of this video. It is a little bit different from what I've been trying to do. I've been trying a few things. If you've noticed on the channel, I've done the shiny hunting, I did the ribbon master, I've even done some Pokemon Unite streams if you're watching me over on Twitch. We're trying a lot of stuff out. I'm trying to become more of a variety Pokemon content creator in a sense, but I do of course love doing Pokemon TCG still. We have of course some videos for the EX battle decks going up. I might do the deluxe ones for the Miraidon and Koraidon ones soon. But we'll wait and see if I have time to do those. But I of course will be doing some deck videos on the new Stellar Crown once it fully comes out on Pokemon TCG Live, so stay tuned for that. And if any of that interests you, go ahead and get subscribed so you can check out that content when it does come out. But let me leave you with this question. Do you think this Terapagos EX, let me get like less lighting on it, this Terapagos EX is worth the $150 price point it's currently at? Or do you think it's going to go down to maybe 120, even 100? Let me know what you think down in the comments. But yeah, that is going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a wonderful time opening up this booster box with you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed watching it. As always, stay safe, and thanks for watching.